If you had invested only $10,000 in Tesla when they first went public 12 years ago, you would now have $2,840,000. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. My name is Sam Evans. I'm coming to you here from Melbourne, Australia. Hope you've had an amazing weekend. I hope you've had a really good day. Let's have a look at the top 10 automotive companies in the world as rated by their current worth, their current valuation on the stock market. And let's try and make a bit of sense of what's going on. And one of my favorite automotive publications called Car Expert has published a very interesting article. It says that for decades, the world of automotive has been a safe bet for investors looking for small but predictable dividends and returns. Now, I don't agree with that, as you'll come to see. If you had invested in Ford 10 years ago, well, if you include inflation, you would have lost a significant amount of money. But anyway, that all changed thanks to electric vehicles and development in autonomous driving. No longer were the namesake brands a guaranteed return, and no longer did business fundamentals make much sense in the old school way that we're used to when it comes to valuation or market hype. The last time the automotive industry went through this kind of an incredible fundamental change was back when Henry Ford ditched the horse and cart in favor of the Model T. Now, I know we talk a lot about Henry Ford, but the truth is the entire industry went through an incredible transformation back then. And realistically, people couldn't see how cars would catch on. They thought they were too expensive. They didn't make sense. Horses and carts were perfectly fine. That's what a lot of people say today when it comes to internal combustion engine vehicles. Little do they know what's happening right now is enormous disruption, as you would have seen if you've subscribed to the channel and you've seen my videos talking about the current disruption going on globally, and it's happening at an incredible pace that most people just aren't aware of. The company that really started the gold rush for automakers was none other than Tesla. When the electric car maker went public in 2010, the share price was $3.84. That's in US dollars. As of market close of me just making this video today, it's now at $1,100 US dollars. And that's not even its highest point. It actually went over $1,200 US dollars a few months back. So if you had invested $10,000 in Tesla back then, you'd now have more than $2.8 million. That's pretty good for 12 years, especially in comparison to if you'd invested in any of the legacy automotive companies. However, what about if you had gone a bit ballsy and you'd invested $500,000? What would you have? Well, you'd now have $142 million. That's a lot of money. Don't feel too bad though. Not many people did. In particular, Mercedes bought 9% of Tesla back in 2010 for $150 million. However, they probably felt really, really good when they sold it all in 2014 for 740 million US dollars or 988 million Australian dollars. So the company made 690 million US dollars on a 4-year investment. They must have been thinking, wow, aren't we great at this? Aren't we awesome? Now looking back, just imagine if they'd held on. That initial investment by Mercedes would now be worth 60 billion US dollars or 80 billion Australian dollars. Mercedes or Daimler itself is only worth 75 billion US dollars. In other words, that investment would be worth nearly as much as the entire company combined. Wow, that's insane. Ford, in stark contrast. Well, I've mentioned this a few times on this channel. Yeah, if you'd invested in Ford during that same month in 2010 when Tesla floated on the stock exchange, the company was worth $11.64. Well, today it sits at $16 US dollars and 67 cents. If you take inflation into account, you would have lost a significant amount of money, as that's only a 43% increase, which means that your initial $10,000 investment would only be worth $14,300 US dollars. Over the past decade, for contrast, the S&P 500 has returned 15% on average. 15%. A lot less than Tesla, but a lot more than Ford. However, It's not just Tesla, which today is valued at 1.13 trillion US dollars. That is setting some incredible market valuations, which some people are confused by. Some say are crazy, and others say make total sense. Depends on who you are, doesn't it? Depends on your understanding of the market, depends on your understanding of the future. Depends on where you think the future is going to go. Most people, I'd say, don't have any idea. Now let's have a look at rival electric car manufacturer Rivian. Their current worth is 41 billion US dollars, which does seem high considering their production, which is nowhere near Tesla's. But Rivian's current value is nearly identical to that of Ferrari's, which might appear reasonable on the face of it. But when you consider the fact that the company only made 920 cars last year, now that's not 9,200. That's not 920,000. That's only 920. And it's hoping to build 25,000 cars in 2022, which most analysts say has about zero chance of happening. Now, some of you know that I bought Rivian stock recently. And yeah, I sold it a couple of weeks later at a 30% premium. Thank you very much, Stock Exchange, for that little game. That was fun while it lasted. So what are the most valuable car companies in the world today? Here they are listed. Tesla, number one at $1.13 trillion. They delivered 935,000 vehicles in 2021. Toyota at number two, $297 billion. They delivered 10 million vehicles, and their net valuation is $396 billion. Now, I believe they are one of the most overvalued companies on the face of planet Earth. And you may think I'm insane. You may think, how can you say that? They delivered more vehicles than any other company on the planet last year. And you'd be right about that. But where did Toyota fit in the scheme of where we're going? What are their plans for the next decade? Well, once you find out what those are, you may find you'll agree with me. Third place was Volkswagen with a net worth of 105 billion or 140.3 billion Australian dollars. Last year, they sold around 9 million cars. And if you're looking at the little graphic here, that was provided from Car Expert. It's wrong, obviously. I don't know what happened there. They just got that one wrong. Next up, number 4, BYD. Most people probably still haven't heard of BYD. If you're a regular watcher of this channel, you would have seen my many BYD videos, and you'd probably understand why BYD's net worth is here. Others might think this is ridiculous, but obviously BYD is the 4th largest manufacturer of batteries on the face of planet Earth. And by the way, they make the future of batteries, LFP batteries, and they currently supply and have contracts to supply 8 different car manufacturers with batteries and battery systems. In addition to that, they're the largest manufacturer of mobile phone handsets on the face of planet Earth. So their valuation is fairly justified, I'd say. However, how many cars did they deliver? Only 730,000, with about 92% of those being either fully electric or plug-in hybrid. That's very important. Number 5 was Daimler or Mercedes, with a current valuation of 75 billion. They delivered 2.1 million vehicles last year. Number 6, Ford, current valuation of 66 billion or 88 billion Australian dollars. They delivered 1.9 million vehicles this year, according to Car Expert, but actually that's incorrect. That was in America. The total deliveries worldwide for the company was actually around about 3.85 million. In 7th place is General Motors with 64 billion net worth, which probably does seem fairly undervalued considering they're currently one of the largest manufacturers of vehicles on the face of the planet at delivery numbers last year of 6,300,000. It seems like they are significantly undervalued if you compare them on face value to a company like Toyota, which clearly hasn't invested anywhere near as much as General Motors in electrification in the future of the automotive industry. If you were going to invest in Toyota or General Motors and you had to choose between the two, it's an absolute no-brainer which you would choose. The same goes for Ford and Toyota. Anyone investing in Toyota right now? Yes, that seems to me to be absolutely insane. Next, Honda in 8th place with a valuation of 52 billion US dollars. They delivered 4.5 million cars last year. In 8th place is BMW, a net valuation of 51 billion US dollars. They delivered 2.2 million cars last year. One of the challenges, though, for companies like Mercedes, BMW, and of course Audi is they're currently being targeted and disrupted by Tesla more than any other car companies on the face of the planet. That is a big challenge for them. Number 10, Stellantis, with a valuation of 45 billion US dollars. They delivered 6 million cars last year. So if we ignore Rivian and Ferrari, some other brands, Hyundai, $35 billion US. SAIC Motors, that's a Chinese state-owned company, which has joint ventures with a number of companies, including Volkswagen, General Motors, and Wuling. For example, they make the Wuling Hongwan Mini, the world's highest selling electric car. Their valuation is $31 billion US. Nissan, $18.7 billion US. And that about rounds up most of the companies you've probably heard of. Now, the interesting thing about all of this is when you look at that top 10, you can realize that if you put the numbers together from 10th place to second place, you put all them together, put their net worth, add them all up together, right? Their total worth is $900 billion US. So Tesla is worth more than every other brand in the top 10 list combined. Now, as I'm about to report, Tesla is about to do another stock split. Makes sense, right? Considering the current price is $1,100 US. Should you invest in Tesla, considering what's going on? Well, I need to point out a very important fact here. None of those top 10 automakers, outside of two of them, manufacture batteries or mobile phone handsets or solar roofs or solar panels or grid scale batteries or home scale batteries. And none of them except Tesla is working on robotics or spending billions on automation. Yes, some of them certainly are working on automation, but not to the same degree. If you think that the market values those things more highly, then it's worth considering the fact that BYD and Tesla are the only two automakers in this list that actually do anything but sell cars, realistically. Now, I don't know about you, but I kind of wish I had bought Tesla shares back in 2010. That'd be worth many millions now. So what I want to know is from you, out of these top 10 automakers, who do you think will own the auto market in 2030? You all know who I think. Tesla, BYD, maybe Volkswagen as well. The rest of them, though, anything could happen. Bankruptcies, restructuring, who knows? Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.